Welcome back to the Black and Gold Standard Podcast. And today I want to talk about some of the big news that came out. And this is more AFC North news than really Steeler news. But so, um, Myles Garrett was, he has informed the Cleveland Browns that he wants to be traded. Um, the Browns say they're not going to trade him, but I think at this point, if he's asking to be traded, then they're gonna have to get that done. So I don't suspect him to be a Cleveland Brown next year. So I know a lot of people say, "Well, hey, this is a Pittsburgh Steeler podcast. Why are we talking about the Browns?" And that's true. But I thought about it, and what I thought about was the Browns are probably going to get two first round picks for Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett, 29 years old. It's probably fair to say that, I mean, he's right at the peak of his career, but it's fair to say that the Browns probably, um, guess you could say they probably got his best years, um, that he's going to have probably out of him. I'm quite sure he probably has at least a good three, four strong, good years left. So, um, I believe he's going to be worth two first round picks. So again, like I started thinking, well, wonder if the Pittsburgh Steelers decided to trade T.J. Watt. Wonder if T.J. Watt thought about it and came to the Steelers and said, "Hey, I want to be traded." And if you're the Steelers, would you do it? Um, like I say, TJ would definitely probably be worth um, just as much as Miles, I would think. Um, so you're talking maybe two first round picks. Um, Obviously, um, if you was to trade those type players, and even though as messed up as the Cleveland Browns are, I'm thinking they're probably going to send Miles to the NFC. I don't think they're going to keep him in the AFC, but who knows with the Browns? But I would definitely think the Steelers would definitely send T.J. Watt if they had to trade him to the NFC. Not gonna really get into what team you think. Like me personally, with this Myles Garrett situation, I think he's gonna be a Detroit Lion. I mean, if I'm the Lions, I'm all over that. I'm all over that trade. So what I wanted to do was let me see here. Let me make sure I can do this. I want to share my screen. Let's see if I can do this here. Let's share the screen. Oh, here we go. So, comparing these guys with each other, and like I say, I don't get into that. Um, a lot of people want to get into that. All those new wave stats. I just think these stats right here pretty much are the ones that I like to compare, guys. So if you look at the records, um, yeah, obviously TJ and done better because the Steelers is a better team than the Browns. So TJ is 8-3-1 compared to Miles 3-8-1. Um, Miles got the one victory over the Steelers, playoff victories. Something that TJ still hasn't have. TJ Watt, believe it or not, does not have a playoff victory as a Pittsburgh Steeler, and that's crazy. And we'll get into that a little later. So I mean, if you really look at their stats, they're like right there. Obviously, TJ got the 7 interceptions compared to Miles. You don't have any, but you got to be fair. TJ kind of plays more. TJ play linebacker, so he drops back in coverage a little more than what Miles do. So the interceptions is gonna go to TJ. But if you look at all their stats, I mean they're right there. I mean TJ got a few more sacks than him. Both of these guys are Hall of Fame are Hall of Famers that will be Hall of Famers when they decide to hang it up. Me personally, I prefer TJ over Miles. I just think sometimes with Myles Garrett, he I feel like he stats. He passes stats a lot. I mean, unfortunately, well, I ain't gonna say unfortunate, but with the Browns, I mean, they've been terrible. So at the end of the day, he can, that's about all he can do is pad his stats. And sometimes, Miles will disappear for weeks and weeks at a time, and then he'll have that one game where he'll have 5 sacks, 4 sacks. Um, and I think TJ is really more consistent with his. I mean, you know, was this year TJ had a couple of snoozer games where he really didn't have any stats. But for the most part, TJ is a little bit more consistent through the year. He's going to show up every game. Where, like I say, sometimes I feel like Miles will disappear for long periods of time, and then he'll show back up. So, like I say, my thing is, would you be mad if the Pittsburgh Steelers were to trade TJ Watt? Um, I want to, we can call it, the Steelers can call it what they want to call it, but they're in a almost in a rebuild position, and to get that extra first round pick this year, it would what would be the benefit? I mean, having that extra pick, or extra 2 picks, because like I say, I think TJ would definitely be worth um 2 first round picks. Um, so having 2 first round picks this year, having 2 next year, where definitely if things don't work out with whatever quarterback they decide to go with, you got that 2 first round picks that maybe you can use both of them to trade up and get your quarterback. Another benefit would be, um, I'm quite sure it would be a dead cap hit. The Steelers would have to take as far as trading Watt, but at the end of the day, you'll really be up from under that big contract, and those funds could be used to maybe bring in some free agents, um, or use that money to pay some guys, in which I don't really know who at this point who they really had to pay like that, but that's a big savings on the cap. So just wondering, just wondering, would that be something that would you look at, or at this point, are you just saying, hey, TJ is a Pittsburgh Steeler, he needs to retire a Pittsburgh Steeler, and you wouldn't consider it. So, just let me know what you think and what would your thinking be on that as far as trading TJ Watt. And as far as Myles Garrett go, I'm glad to see him gone because at the end of the day, especially even this year, when you look at it, um, he wrecked the Steelers. That first game, that snowball, he totally wrecked the Steelers. I mean, as bad as Pittsburgh played, Steelers still had an opportunity to win that game. But I'm confident to say if Myles Garrett won in that game, Steelers would have won that game. I think he was that dominant in that game. I'm glad to see him gone. And hey, the Browns, as we always say, the Browns are the Browns. And I know probably on the flip side, some people will say the same thing about Watt. They're glad to see him gone, but I just think the Steelers still do have some other pieces that could, you know, make up the slack a little bit. I mean, Watt is great, so you're never gonna not want him, or you're gonna miss not having him. But like I say, it was just something that I was just thinking, and just wanted to know, like, would you really consider trading him? That would be a very interesting situation, and I think, man, I'm thinking Steeler Nation probably would be up in arms about that one. But with that said, that's all I wanted to get on here and kind of talk about, and just get people's opinion on what you thought about that situation, and if it came down to TJ Watt, would you be willing to let him go? All right. So until next time, take care. Talk to you later.